Everyone, it looks like we're getting ready to start.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Unity of Kanawha Valley. We'll begin our service with the ringing of the bell and the lighting of the Christ candle. What'd I miss? Okay. Oh. And we ring this bell and light this candle to remind ourselves of the spirit that each of us carry within us. And now please speak with me our opening statement. You will find that in your bulletin. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, God, the good, omnipotent. Now please take that thought within with me for just a moment as we become centered in this sacred space. And now let's affirm it together once more. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, God, the good, omnipotent. And so it is. Our songs this morning will be led by Jim Snyder once more. Yay, he's back. We've enjoyed having you so much.
Very unexpected.
That's okay.
In fact,
And accompanied by Jeff.
Well, in fact, Jeff said, "How can we miss you if you won't go away?"
I think that's the name of the song. Okay, good.
Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel His mighty power and His grace. I can hear the rush of angels' wings. I see glory on His face. Surely the presence of God is in this place. Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel her mighty power and her grace. There's a holy hush around us. I see glory on His land, down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. I'm gonna shake hands with every man down by the riverside. Ain't not anymore, no more. Girl, I ain't first not anymore, no more.
Thanks, Jim. Way to wake us up. Good morning, everyone. So nice to see everyone. I see some new faces. Scott, do we have some first-time visitors this morning?
We do. We have Richard and Sarah Gottlieb who are here visiting. And Charlie, who is a this church, this building. The clip has gone on my microphone. So this building was the original Elizabeth Memorial Methodist Church. They decided to build their facility up on the hill, and one Sunday, they walked from here up to their new church on the hill. They've been having outdoor services for the past 18 months, right through the winter, because they decided they loved being outside so much. But today, for some reason, no service at all. So Charlie, welcome. It's great to have you back with us.
Fantastic. What sounded good?
That's apocryphal.
Yeah.
You can know it.
We're kind of used to Sky getting things mixed up every now and then. Well, we love him. Okay, we're so glad to see everyone this morning. Don't forget to support the Davis Children's Shelter if you're so inclined. We do collect luggage and bags for the children as they transition out of the shelter into their next home. And same for the Sojourner Shelter. We support them, and we will be collecting coffee and school supplies if you would like to donate. There is a barrel at the bottom of the steps as you go through the library behind me here. I want to take a minute to say that we have some books downstairs. Ruth Davis recently passed. She was a long-time member of Unity and one of the pillars of our church for so long. And she had quite the extensive Unity library. If you have seen our Unity library here behind me, she had probably almost every book in there, and then some that aren't even in there. So we got a lot of her books. Her family donated them to the church, and we are in the process of having a memorial book sale for her with all proceeds going to the church. And Ruth would really enjoy that. She would appreciate that. I know she would. So just, it's on a love offering basis. There's no designated price on the books, but I'm sure if you'll go down there after the service, you'll see something that really captures your eye and your heart. So we do have our prayer chaplains. Sharon's our prayer chaplain today. She's not meeting with people one-on-one, but she will offer a prayer for you if you approach her right. Thank you very much, Sharon. We need volunteers for serving as ushers and daily word readers, so if you feel called to do that, please let us know. Or just sign the little sheet up here, which we will see, and you can read. I didn't get a daily word reader today. I just thought of that. Vaughn wants to do it, or who wants to do it? Okay, great. Yeah, see, ask and you shall receive, right? And very important, membership renewal forms. You have to renew your membership if you want to continue to be a member of our church. And the membership forms are where, Pam? On the pews. So just fill them out, turn them in, put them in the offering plate, whatever you hand them to Pam, and you will be a member for the next year. And in that same line of thought, we are having our annual meeting coming up on Sunday, October the 10th, after our Sunday service. It will be a dual meeting, Zoom, online. If you don't feel comfortable coming to the church, if you do come to the church, we'll have a meeting downstairs, and it will be socially distanced, and all the protocol will be followed. So we missed the days when we had those big, great luncheons, and hopefully we'll see those days again. So if you are interested in running for a position on the board, there are 3 open, and please see Janet or me. We are the committee, and we will be happy to explain what that means and take your voluntary application. So thank you for that. I think that's all I have, so that's enough. I'll turn it over to you, Sky.
Try this one and see. Is this working okay? Can you hear me? Can you hear me okay? Okay, good. Well, welcome, good morning, shalom, namaste, aloha. The light in me greets the light in you. My name is Sky Kershner. I want to welcome you to Unity of Kanawha Valley, whether you're here with us live or online. We're glad to have you here. Thanks for being with us from wherever you are. There will be a discussion group. Actually, there will be I don't know what to call this thing that I'm going to do after the service today, but I'll explain that as we go along. But if you want to stay, feel free to stay. We usually have a discussion group in the library afterwards. And I am wearing this, what is this, a floral print in honor of Ayla Assad, who passed away this week. For some reason, this just feels like an Ayla shirt. Yeah, thank you for the head nods. Other people are saying, I never saw her wear a print flower thing. But the mission of Unity of Kanawha Valley is to provide you with a welcoming community of love, acceptance, and spiritual growth. We celebrate our unity in being alive together, and we affirm our diversity, that each one of us is on our own unique journey of spiritual growth. It's my personal goal that you'll feel welcome while you're here with us today, that you feel free to be yourself, feel free to believe whatever you want to believe, and feel free to explore some ideas that may be useful in your life. Today, we will be talking about the idea of receiving guidance, receiving guidance. Prayer is a central part of what we're about here today, so let's do that right now. Would you soften your gaze, let yourself smile, close your eyes if that feels comfortable. You might notice when you smile with your eyes closed, something happens inside your body. And would you say silently to yourself, I am open to hearing the small voice of guidance within me. I am open to hearing the small voice of guidance within me. And if you would, imagine that you're standing in front of someone you love. Imagine that you're holding them in some way. You're looking at them in the eyes. We know that there is no separation. We are not separated by time or distance or life or death. Look them in the eye and say to them, thank you for being with me on this journey. I'm saying that to Ruth Davis right now. I'm saying this to Ayla Assad right now. Thank you for being with me on this journey. And if you would, give yourself a nice big yawn and a nice big stretch. And would you turn to the person next to you, and if you can safely do it, say thank you for being with me on this journey. Thank you, guys. I want to thank each of you for being here today. Your being here today is part of the world that we are creating. Every small thing you do today makes a difference in your life and in the life of others. I want to thank the universe, God, the source of all life and love, for another day on this amazing journey. I want to thank everyone who's made this service possible. A moment of gratitude for Stephen Keith and our board of directors, Barbie, Jamie, Rich, Peggy, Lori, and Kathy, and for Pam, our minister of paper, getting the applause today. Thank you for that, Pam. I want to thank Ron, who's not here, but who's bringing people in anyway, right, Richard? Thank you. And for Jeff and Ryan and my Jim, thank you. Oh, another J son, okay. We'll just keep the J sons going. Jim, our masked marauders of music. For Peggy, our worship leader. For Rich and Danny, our Zoom meisters. For our amazing prayer chaplain, Sharon, Janet, Marianne, Laura, and Alexa. Our daily word reader today, I think it's somewhere between Stephen and Vaughn, pointing fingers back and forth. And our junior bell ringers today, Eleanor and Layla. Tegan. Eleanor and Tegan, okay, thank you. And I want to remind you that God is our source. The pen is in your hand, and a new day is dawning for us all. And so let's enter into a more extended period of appreciating this present moment. So if you would, you might notice the good feeling of gratitude that happens when we acknowledge one another and our presence here, and the gratitude we have for being together. You might notice the sounds in the room in this present moment. The air conditioning and the air coming through the blowers. The sound of our neighbors shifting and becoming more comfortable. The sound of cars outside. You might notice the experience of being in your body and of having a body. The little pains, the little kinks, the aches. Places where you might feel tight and places where you might feel relaxed. You might notice your breathing, this miraculous exchange of giving and receiving. It happens at every layer of our existence, the giving and receiving. All of life depends on giving and receiving. It's almost as if breathing is a metaphor for the circulation of love throughout the world. We take in what we need, we release and let go of what we no longer need. And in the amazing connections of this world, what we let go of is exactly what other parts of our planet need. The beating of our hearts, the circulation of the energy from our lungs carried by the blood through all the parts of our body. The giving, the taking up, the releasing, the letting go. You might notice a sense of calm and peace as you settle into the present moment. there was a man named Jesus, the Jewish mystic, who taught that it's good to seek the kingdom, that the kingdom is in your midst, the kingdom is at hand, the kingdom is among you, and the kingdom is within. And so we wander around within, considering these words. Where is this kingdom? What is this kingdom? We know that the experience of this kingdom has something to do with the experience of being alive, of life, and of love, and the experience of love. And we notice the qualities of this kingdom. The experience of abundance and sufficiency. The sense that you and I are okay just as we are. We are accepted and acceptable just as we are. That our abundance is found in the gratitude for what is in front of us. You are fine just the way you are. We know this kingdom to have the quality of love, of reconciliation, of apology, of repair, of connection, of forgiveness. We know this kingdom to be a place from which all healing and all life flows. The working of the body, the mystery of all the pieces being part of the greater whole. The mystery of what is inside being bigger than what is outside. The sense of cure and the sense of healing as acceptance of what is. And we know this to be a place of guidance where the still small voice still speaks. Where we can learn to pay attention, to notice, to observe, to be gentle with ourselves, to follow those little leanings where they might take us, to have the courage to do the hard thing, and to receive and to go with the flow. And it's from this place of abundance and love and healing and guidance that we reach out to anyone, anywhere, in any need or trouble. For those living in fear, for those isolated and separated from people they love. For those struggling to breathe. For those for whom today will be their final day. For those who are mourning the loss of a loved one. For those who carry sorrow and sadness and continue to mourn the loss of a loved one on this anniversary. For those anxious about the future, for those unable to let go of regret from the past, for those struggling with addiction, for those struggling living with violence. We reach out to you right now in our mind's eye. We know that God's love is spread out equally throughout this world without exception. And we know that the consciousness and the awareness of God's love and God's presence in your life and in my life is possible at every moment, in every situation, without exception. And for this, we are grateful.
I open my mind and heart to receive my guidance. Sometimes I have insisted on figuring things out for myself rather than asking for anyone's help. Over the years, I have learned the value of asking for guidance and sharing what I've learned when others ask me. As we exchange ideas, we may tap into a higher wisdom that had not been apparent to either of us alone. This higher wisdom is not outside myself. It is a still, small voice, mine to call upon at any time. I am always able to ask for guidance to show me the way forward. I access my inner guidance by opening my mind and heart in prayer. Then I watch and listen, remembering that divine guidance may come in a familiar way or perhaps in an unexpected way that will surprise and delight me. As for the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts. Isaiah 55:9.
When this old world starts getting me down and people are just too much for me to face, I climb way up to the top of the stairs and all my cares just drift right into space. And on the roof, as peaceful as can be, and there the world below can't bother me. When I get home feeling tired and beat, I go up where the air is fresh and sweet. I get away from the hustling crowd and all that rat race noise down in the street. And on the roof is the only place I know where you just have to wish to make it so. Up on the roof. At night the stars put on a show for free. And darling, you can share it all with me. I keep a telling you that right smack dab in the middle of town I found a paradise that's trouble-proof. And if this old world starts getting you down, there's room enough for two up on my roof. Up on the roof. Everything is all right, everything is all right. Up on the roof. Everything is all right, everything is all right. Up on the roof.
Well, I don't know which is moving me more, Jim, that song and that rendition, or Vaughn, your James Earl Jones reading of that daily word. That was extraordinary. Yeah. You were bringing it this morning. Well, let's see if the kids would want to come up. The young ladies, we've got Delilah and Eleanor and Tegan here today. Come on up. Yes, thank you. Thank you for reminding me and being gentle with me. Oh my gosh, Delilah. Good to see everybody today. Let's get everybody's name. I'm Sky.
I'm Delilah.
Tegan.
Eleanor.
Great to see you guys today. Anybody remember who that guy is up there? The guy in the picture frame? Jesus. And how's he looking today?
Happy.
He's looking pretty happy today. Yeah, it looks like somebody just told a really good joke and he's really enjoying it. And let's see, does anybody know who this guy is up here who's on the
No, I only know that he's green.
the green person? Yeah, the little green person. That wouldn't be Yoda. So who is Yoda green?
Yoda?
What's that?
Not Baby Yoda?
Not Baby Yoda. No, that's a good guess. This is how's he looking? That's my question.
I would say.
Okay. How's he looking to you?
Serious.
Serious?
I don't know.
I think he's supposed to be looking like chill. He's supposed to be looking calm. Yeah, that's the mood. So that was a great song. Thank you for that again. Up on the roof. Has anybody been up on the roof of their house? Not yet? Okay, someday you will have a chance with your parents. Yes, someday. I'm predicting there will be a time.
I've been on the roof of a really, really tall building.
And what was it like when you were up on the roof of a really, really tall building?
Everyone looked like ants.
Everyone looked like ants. And yeah, and that was an interesting, we call that perspective. It's an interesting place to stand and look at stuff. I want to tell you a little story. I want to tell you a story about a guy named Samuel and his grandfather. I think it was his grandfather, whose name was Eli. Samuel was spending the night at Eli's house, and he was in bed. And guess what happened? He heard somebody call his voice. And he said, yeah, what? And nothing happened. And so he went to his grandfather's bedroom and he said, you called me? And his grandfather, Eli, said, I didn't call you. So go back to bed. You're having a dream. And so Samuel went back to bed, and guess what happened? He heard his voice again, and he said, oh, that's definitely my granddad. So he went to his granddad's room, and he woke his granddad up and said, you called me? And the granddad said, I didn't call you. Go back to bed. You're having a dream. Guess what happened next? He heard his voice. He heard this voice calling him again. He said, Samuel, Samuel. And so he went to his grandfather's room, and this time the grandfather said, oh, I know what's going on. The still small voice inside you, God is calling you. And this time when you hear his voice, when you hear your voice being called, say to the voice, I'm listening. I'm listening. And then see what it wants to say to you. So he went back to bed. You heard his voice again, Samuel, Samuel. And he said, speak, I'm listening. And then the voice spoke to him and gave him guidance. How is that for a story? Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Very good. All right. Let's close our eyes and take a nice deep breath. We're going to be chilled like the green Buddha guy up there. Ready? We're going to listen to this as long as we can hear it. Ready? Mother, Father, God, we give thanks for these kids and for the kid in each and every one of us. Amen. Might we have some snacks? Maybe, yes, maybe. You'll do a snack just for a minute and then come right back. Okay. Quick snack. Yay. Let's hear it for our kids. Oh. Let's hear it for our parents, grandparents, great-grandparents, and everybody else. All right. Wow. Oh, Peggy said, I saw Peggy had put something up on Facebook, and oh, here it is. Here's the clip for the microphone. I'm paperclip. I found it on the floor the week before then, and I've been using paper clips here to hold this thing on. Sorry about that. That was the paper clip. There we go. Okay. Peggy put something up on Facebook. I thought it was so funny. It's just a short sentence. Isn't it weird being the same age as old people? Isn't that weird? Yeah. How did that happen? So put your hand on your heart and repeat after me, please. This is my heart. Through it, I am connected to my neighbor, to my source, and to myself. I'm learning to trust it in all things, and I am grateful. So I wanted to talk a little bit about receiving guidance. That's the daily word for today on guidance. And I love this story. Other folks remember this story from Children's Church or whatever about Santa. It's one of the great stories of being a kid and being close to that voice that calls out to you. And the confusion, Samuel doesn't know where this voice is coming from or what it wants. And Eli and Samuel kind of figure it out along the way. And this beautiful line that Samuel says, that Eli teaches him to say, "Speak, Lord, for your servant is listening." I was talking with my neighbor recently. He's in the process of becoming a preacher, and he was telling me about the classes he's taking and the whole process of that. And he was talking with somebody about God and whether he believes in God or not. And he was talking about, he referred to the guy as an atheist. I don't know why, but well, I mean, so what? We all believe different things. I'm sure half of the gods, or more than half of the gods that my neighbors believe in, I don't believe in. I'm an atheist to their God, but it doesn't matter. God doesn't care, I think. God is love. God is like gravity. Gravity doesn't care if you believe in it or not. It's going to keep working on you all the same. So he was saying that this friend of this guy that he used to work with said that he wouldn't believe in God until he had like a lightning bolt, Damascus Road kind of experience. He had been brought up in a church, but had moved away from it. And he said, "I want a burning bush experience." And my friend, the pastoral student, said, "Yeah, but it doesn't always work like that. You're tempting God. You're testing God and all this." And I was sitting there thinking, and he had asked me, what is this unity thing that you're, so I was kind of describing to him in a friendly way. I'm getting better and better at saying, okay, we're not a cult, but if you drink the Kool-Aid, you might be around for a while. No, I'm not doing that. But, I said, well, that's interesting, that you're looking at that as like the guy tempting God. If you're interested, I can give you at least one unity take on that. And he said, okay. And I said, there are burning bushes all around us right now. Right? This present moment is the burning bush. Right? You don't need a big heavens. You don't need a double rainbow experience to have a sense that this is an amazing world that we're living in, with all the richness, the good, the bad, and everything in between, the pain, the sorrow, the laughter, the hurt, everything in between. This moment is the burning bush. And what would it take to see that? Could that be what Jesus, the Jewish mystic, means when he says, those who have eyes to see, and those who have ears to hear, hear? That this moment is the amazing moment. He had never considered that. That was a nice moment in our conversation. I'm reminded of the movie, my favorite movie, Fools Rush In, with, is it Salma Hayek or who's the other Latina actress? Cruz, Penelope Cruz is married to that guy from Friends, Chandler from Friends, and they kind of get together in an interesting way, and then they're trying to work out their relationship. I, of course, love this movie because my wife is Latina, and I'm kind of the Chandler figure in the movie, but he's trying to decide what to do with this relationship because it's thrown him way off of his career path, and he runs into a guy holding a sign that says, "The signs are everywhere. The signs are everywhere." And so I think the thing, one unity perspective, nobody speaks for unity authoritatively, but one unity perspective is the guidance is all around us. Right? You're receiving guidance, you and I are receiving guidance multiple times throughout the day. It's just a matter of whether we're open to receiving the guidance is there, that the the voice might be so small or so still that we're kind of blowing right past it. And so spending time in quiet is one way to say, your servant is listening. You know, I'm listening to wherever this voice is coming from, whether it's outside of us or within ourselves. This guidance comes in different ways. It might come as a sense of discontent. Like, I don't like what's happening. My body has been giving me guidance the past day. My knee kind of went out. I think it's telling me, don't do that anymore. Don't do that thing that keeps knocking your knee out. It comes in the sense of knowing that something that had been working for me isn't working anymore. It comes from that sense of deep enjoyment about whatever it is, a relationship or a TV show or a song, that thing that we want more of. And so I want to just kind of put out the idea that guidance is all around us, and it's mediated largely through our feelings, right? That our feelings are a gift. Our feelings are, if we can notice and accept our feelings, a huge amount of guidance from them. Now we are in the Jewish season of Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, this period of reflection and thinking about your life and what you need to let go of and the past year. Rabbi Ureki told me this story that, you know, when the new year starts, the book of the year closes on the past year, and any unfinished business you have not dealt with, like you can't go back. And it's a lovely metaphor for the sense of urgency, to not let unfinished business just carry on and carry on, carry on. I am totally capable of letting unfinished business carry on and carry on. In the Christian tradition, we have this idea that with communion, you know, or the teaching of Jesus, you know, don't bring your gifts to the altar if you've got a problem with your neighbor, right? You got to deal with that problem first before you can be right with your source. I had a dream the other night that I was at a dinner table with someone who I have had a 30-year-long block with. We used to be very good friends in seminary, and then a couple things happened, and I'm certainly responsible for a majority of what happened between us. And we're at this dinner table together, and I've been carrying this sort of pain around this disruption in our relationship. And I just decided to apologize to him across the dinner table, maybe partially because of the TV show Ted Lasso, because people are so good at making apologies. Almost every episode, somebody makes a beautiful apology to another person. And so I told him what I remembered doing and how I thought I had hurt him, and I wanted to check out with him and see if I was correct, because I wanted to be sure that what I was apologizing for was something that really had hurt him. And he said, yeah, that did hurt. And I said, I'm sorry. And here are the steps, you know, that I've taken over the past 30 years so that I don't do that to any of my other friends. And the experience in the dream was a really wonderful experience, and I woke up from that wondering, what am I supposed to do with this? As if it wasn't clear enough from the dream, right? Because the last thing I want to do is like call this buddy up and have the hard conversation. And so, well, that's the last thing a part of me wants to do, right? The first thing another part of me wants to do, my higher part that's connected with God, is saying, yeah, deal with this unfinished business. So this guidance comes to us in different ways. I will give you part 2 of this once I complete part 2 of this, because I decided to sit with it. I'm not quite sure. I'm scared. I'm not quite sure what the best way to do this is going to be. I don't want to disturb his peace, but it's nervous. And it's awesome to have these reminders of trusting guidance and trusting that love and acceptance come when we do sometimes the brave thing. Just a quote from the Daily Word today. I access my inner guidance by opening my mind and heart in prayer. And then I watch and I listen, remembering that divine guidance may come in familiar ways or perhaps in unexpected ways that will surprise and delight me, and I would add, scare me to death. So I'm kind of curious, how does guidance come to you? I'm wondering if 2 or 3 people would be willing to share, not necessarily what it is that you were guided to do, but just how did the guidance come? And Barbie, I'm kind of counting on you because you're my guidance person.
That's what I talked about last week.
Is it really? I didn't watch, but I know that you go to your studio and you sit in front of a canvas and you say, okay, what's the guidance for? But yeah, say more, and let me give you the microphone so our folks at home can hear your. Yeah, come on, Red.
I love what you said about when you hear it, you don't really want to do it. And that's a really sure sign that that's what that was. I think last week I talked about getting images sometimes, just a vision of what it is. And I've been using cards a lot lately, and I just ask for, it's like, I just want to see what is it that needs to be my focus today. And I've been amazed how, like, consistently, day after day after day, the thing that comes up is to trust intuition and live in the moment. And so, especially when I get those, like, the same kind of message when I turn a card or look for the answer in an animal or something like that, like when an animal shows up and I say, oh, what's the spiritual significance of this? And so sometimes it's just like looking in my environment. Now, I don't think there's anything magical about that. I think that it just helps us activate what's already here, like what's already in our hearts, what's already on our minds, what it is that the divine wants to communicate, that if we just sort of open up to it. And sometimes it doesn't make sense, which I love when it doesn't make sense, because that means it's not coming from here, it's coming from here. And so to keep my heart open to that, I've been hearing a lot from inside about kindness. And a lot of times I just, like, I don't have it today, but I'll write it on the inside of my wrist, a word, and just look at it through the day and remember that today is the day I'm going to focus on this. So that's how I follow my inner guidance, and I think almost every single day. I mean, I'm big on intentions, and then looking for ways I can work that into my life. I do daily intentions, I do monthly intentions, I do yearly intentions. My intention this year is to release. That was a word I got during meditation on January 1st. And so I go deeper and deeper and deeper into what it is I need to release. And when you focus on something like that for an entire year and look for messages, if you're open, they come. They come. It's like when I was walking at Bryce Canyon and I'm yelling, I'm wanting that burning bush experience, and I'm saying, God, and I said it out loud, God, can't you just tell me what to do? And I go around the bend and there's this sign that said, stay alert, read the signs. So I took a picture of it and I recall that every now and then.
Anyone else care to share a brief story about God? Vaughn. James. Darth. What's Darth's original name? Anakin.
And just so you know, I did Google Darth Vaughn once, and that is a person who ran track in South Carolina once upon a time. So he is out there. Some of you may remember when I came up here recently and spoke about leaving my prior position in a job I had had over a decade, and the strife, that inner turmoil that came with that. And I didn't mention this part of the story. It's a little, sometimes I think it's just so completely silly and out there, but at that time, after I had left, I usually have the Bible out where I read in one position in the house, and then I have so I was reading the Bible, and I was reading Les Miserables, and Little Women, and Lord of the Flies, and a book on Mark Twain. I usually read multiple books like that, just in different places in the house. And I remember thinking, while I was sitting there with the Bible one day, God, if I could just have some kind of sign that I'm doing the right thing, moving in the right direction. And I thought to myself, if I could see the word anvil somewhere, I'll take that as a sign that I'm doing what's best for me and my family. And then I immediately felt regret. I also said, God, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to test you like that. I'll understand if I don't see it. But I thought surely with all the books I was reading, I would see this word at some point. It's not a super common word. It's a little archaic. And then in my prayers, when I would become scared, I would think to myself, just be the anvil, be steady, be the thing on which things are struck upon and do not break. And that was a good meditation for me. So I thought maybe that was it. But one day I was driving I dropped off Eleanor first at Chamberlain, and then I would circle around and drop Claudia off at Horace Mann. And as everyone with children know, that getting out of the house at the same time every day is not something that's going to happen. Either the left shoe is on and the right shoe is not. Anyways, I dropped off Eleanor, and I was having a day of doubt already. And I went to the stop sign, and a car came up. It was an antique car. I don't know what kind, but it was something you would see in a car show, and it was shiny black. And someone has taken really good care of this car, and they had a vanity plate in the front that was the symbol for the Grateful Dead. And I thought, well, that's cool. But then, of course, it's time to get Claudia to school. So I make the left turn, go to the light, and then I make another left turn to get onto McCorkle. And I'm driving along, and it actually is a pretty day, but nothing is really shaking my mood so far. And then that black antique car drives past me, and their license plate spelled out clear as day is ANVIL. And I just thought, okay, thank you.
Well, I want to end this with a piece of guidance that I think I got yesterday. 9/11, a number of us have been, affected and have all sorts of different kinds of associations to it. And I got a message from a buddy of mine, Carl Rattan, the former priest at St. John's. Carl was at Trinity Church, which is on Wall Street in New York City, 9/11, the morning of 9/11. He was at a spiritual conference with the Archbishop of Canterbury, which if you're Episcopalian, that's like the Pope. It's like the Dalai Lama of the Episcopal Church. And so he's there, and you know, this is Trinity Church on Wall Street is where Nicolas Cage winds up in what's that movie, National Treasure. You know, this is where the whole thing is buried, and it's, you know, like a block from Ground Zero. So he sent me this message. He said, "Hi, Sky." Because, you know, he came back, you know, when he came back, he and I had some, well, "Hi, Sky. I was thinking about my experiences at 9/11. I remember how helpful you were to my healing. A week or so after I got back, I was still pretty stressed. I was talking with you, and you named that maybe I had some kind of PTSD. And then you did a simple tapping and visualization exercise. And in the visualization, when I looked up, I averted my eyes because I remembered seeing the towers ablaze. And when I looked down, I saw a woman's high-heeled shoe that had been abandoned in the soot on the street. The process of this was incredibly helpful. After that, my anxiety from planes flying overhead left me. And so on this day of remembrance, I want to express my deep thanks and appreciation for our friendship." Now, I'm bringing this up this week because Ayla Assad loved that tapping method, and she and I were students of it when it first kind of came to Charleston, and Ayla based her entire practice around this tapping method. And so I don't know. I figured, well, I don't know what the universe is telling me about this, but in honor of Ayla, I'm not only wearing this shirt, but I thought if anyone who wants to, after the service, and I know the folks online will probably enjoy it, we could run through a little group tapping together. You don't have to talk about whatever it is that you're, you know, whatever little trauma you're holding on to. It doesn't work with everybody, but it works dramatically sometimes, every now and then, and I'd be glad to do that. So instead of the group discussion, we could do a group tapping for those who want to. So just come on up here after the service and we'll do a group tapping. It takes about 10 or 15 minutes. And by tapping, I mean you're tapping on acupuncture points, and there are certain things that kind of, we say affirmations. We say the same affirmations, a beautiful one. With all my problems and limitations, I deeply and completely accept myself. And there's something beautiful about that experience, and my friend Carl I had completely forgotten that we had done this, but I super appreciated 20 years later hearing the relief that brought him. And I'm assuming that there's some kind of guidance in him doing that, and I'm hoping that might happen for someone here today as well. And with that, I think I'll end. Thank you all so much. Thanks, Barbie. Thanks, Vaughn, for your sharing, and thank you all for being here today. Peggy, and thank you for doing snacks with the kids.
Ushers, please come forward for the offering. Okay, then. Right there. Thank you. Let's say our offering prayer together. It's in your bulletin. Divine love, moving in and through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I give in love, I trust God. I'm grateful.
Love, love, love. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. There's nothing you can do that can't be done. Nothing you can sing that can't be sung. Nothing you can say, but you can learn how to play the game. It's easy. There's nothing you can make that can't be made. No one you can save that can't be saved. Nothing you can do, but you learn how to be you in time. It's easy. And all you need is love. All you need is love. All you need is love. Love. Love is all you need. And all you need is love. All you need is love. All you need is love. Love. Love is all you need. There's nothing you can know that can't be known. Nothing you can see that can't be shown. Nowhere you can be that isn't where you're meant to be. It's easy. And all you need is love. And all you need is love. And all you need is love. Love. Love is all you need. I'd like to hear you all now. And all you need is love. And all you need is love. And all you need is love. Love. Love is all you need. Love is all you need. Love is all you need. Love is all you need.
Will you join me in blessing this offering today? We see these gifts going forth to bless so many others as they fulfill their roles in this world. Together we picture a peaceful, beautiful, healed world, free from disease, strife, and hunger. As we are inspired to make our own contributions to the world, we see the difference that love makes. And we remember that we are the heart, we are the hands, and we are the voice of Spirit on earth. And who we are and all we do is a blessing to the world. And so it is. Amen.
Okay, now if you'd want to join hands, and we'll form our circle, or we can join hands and just form our circle. Yeah, we have learned to socially distance.